They say old furniture carries the energy of its past owners. I never believed that until I found the mirror. It was late summer in 2014, and I had just moved into a small rental house outside Asheville, North Carolina. The place was old, but the rent was cheap, and I liked the quiet mountain surroundings. The landlord had left behind a few pieces of antique furniture: a heavy oak dresser, a rocking chair, and an ornate, full-length mirror leaning against the bedroom wall. The mirror stood out the most. It had an intricate, carved wooden frame with faint symbols etched into the sides. The glass had a slight discoloration, like smoke stains, and it seemed to almost shimmer when the light hit it. The landlord brushed it off, saying it had been in the house for decades, and no one had the strength to haul it away. The first few nights were fine, but soon I began to notice little things. When I walked past the mirror, sometimes it felt like my reflection lingered just a split second too long. Once, while brushing my teeth, I saw myself grin in the glass, but I wasn't smiling. I laughed it off as being tired or stressed from the move. But then came the footsteps. Every night, just after 2 a.m., I'd hear soft creaks on the hardwood floors outside my bedroom. Slow, deliberate steps, stopping right at the doorway. When I turned on the light, no one was there. My first thought was that someone had a spare key. I checked all the locks, even installed a new deadbolt, but the footsteps never stopped. The worst night came a week later. I woke up, heart racing from the sound of whispering. It was faint at first, almost like a breeze, but when I sat up, I realized it was coming from the mirror. The whispers grew clearer, a woman's voice, low and urgent, saying something I couldn't fully make out. I remember hearing, "Don't look," repeated again and again. My gut told me to leave the room, but I couldn't move. It was like the air grew heavy, pressing me down into the mattress. And then I looked. In the glass, behind my reflection, stood a tall, shadowy figure. Its face was pale and featureless, almost like a blurred photograph. It hovered right over my shoulder. I spun around. Nothing was there. But when I looked back at the mirror, it was closer, its hand reaching toward me. I threw a blanket over the mirror and barely slept that night. The next morning, I decided to get rid of it. I dragged the thing out to the yard, planning to leave it for bulk pickup. But as soon as I set it down, the glass cracked, a jagged line running straight down the middle. I swear I heard a sharp intake of breath, like someone gasping in pain. Neighbors later told me the house had a strange history. In the 1960s, a woman named Eleanor had lived there. She was rumored to be involved in occult practices. One night, she locked herself in that very bedroom. She was found dead days later, sitting in front of the mirror, eyes wide open, as though staring into something no one else could see. The coroner listed it as natural causes, but locals always whispered about her soul being trapped. I didn't stick around to find out more. I broke my lease and left 2 weeks later, abandoning most of my things. The landlord didn't argue, almost like he expected it. But here's the part that still chills me. A few months later, while scrolling through local news online, I saw a story about a yard sale in Asheville. The photo caught my eye immediately. It was the same mirror, frame cracked but glass intact, propped up against a table of antiques. The caption read, "Rare Victorian mirror for sale. Owner says it has a life of its own." I shut my laptop and never looked for updates again. But sometimes, late at night, I get the unshakable feeling that if I checked Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace around Asheville, that mirror would still be there, waiting.